No one could be harder on myself than me. Not the teacher with the red pen marking up changes, not my coaches when I played sports, and not even my boss. Nope, no one beat me because I was too busy beating my own self up. I'm so grateful I gave up that mentality and realized in a world designed to tear you down, I had to be the one building me up. If you are tired of being your own worst critic and taking yourself down with tough love that you've given far too much of, this is for you. It's time to put that critic to bed, and it starts with giving yourself some dang on credit. That's what I want you to remember. When you find yourself facing the worst times, the times when it seems like this is the big one that will take you right out the game. Remember, you've seen challenges, hardships, difficulties, and the foolery before, honey. You can handle it because you always find a way, and things work out just as they are meant to. Ready for me to be your personal mindset coach? Work with me one-on-one. Let's let go of what's holding you back and get the mindset you need so you can chase your dreams while doing all the things. You don't have to just dream about the life you love. You can actually live the life of your dreams. With my simple strategies, you can go from imagining to manifesting, from just trying to thriving. Let's rewrite your story now. Tap the link in the show notes and apply now. Your next level you is awaiting. Let's go on this journey together. In the midst of doing all the things, you can do all things and chase your dreams. Stay encouraged as we go on this journey called life, tackling everything that comes our way while we shine our light despite any circumstances we face. No more downplaying or dimming your light, because through the good, the bad, and everything in between, together we can encourage over everything. Encourager. Hoping this message finds you well and open to receive this message. If you are anything like I used to be, you need to get this all up and through your spirit. I used to take myself down. You hear me? I was my own worst critic. And even when I got things right, I could still find the ways I messed up and should have done better. For a long, long time, I beat myself up about ending up as a single mom. Like, really? You let yourself get here? Come on now, you are smarter than that. And this was like a song that played in the background, like that ambient elevator music, that if you listen long enough, it was a song that you actually knew all the words to. But that little song grew so loudly, it literally became the soundtrack theme to my life. I didn't realize how my shoulda, woulda, couldas, thank you, Brian McKnight, were holding me down. And when matched up with the takedowns of life, I was having a harder time trying to get things right. When you realize the one that's really been holding you back the whole time was you, it's life-changing. In all seriousness, I would much rather be the one taking me down, because that's actually the only person I do have control over. So if there is something that I don't like about what I'm doing, I can change that. I have direct authority to make changes over me. And that is your superpower as well. It wasn't the fact that I was a single mom that was holding me back. It was the way I seen myself becoming a single mom that was holding me back. The real power was when I stopped blaming other people, the circumstances, or the situation, and just took accountability for me and the fact that I could change what happened from here on out. That is what set me on a whole new path in life. I hear this so many times from my clients. I'm my own worst critic. And it's said with such a sense of pride that the ultra competitive side of you can't let anybody beat you on this one. except you. But I'd like to ask you now, do you have to be your own worst critic? What would it be like to give yourself some critique without being your worst critic? With all of the things swirling around you, do you have to be the one who's the worst on you? Now, for me, this was not a job that I wanted. And truth be told, it wasn't a position I wanted anybody else to fill either. And this is where the shift happened. This is where your power is. Just because it's been this way doesn't mean it has to stay the same. You, oh powerful one, have all the power to make this change. It has to start with you giving yourself some dang on credit. Yes, there were some decisions that I made that led me here, but not all of them were bad. I have two absolutely beautiful young people. I have been blessed and carry the honor of being their mother. And at the end of the day, that is what mattered, not the circumstances that came before them. I mean, and now, to be honest with you, I'm so far past it, it's like, who even cares? In a world where you are busy, you've got a household to run, crazy kids' schedules, work, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. With all the adulting going on and all the roles you're working so hard to fill, it can cause you to forget about one of the most important relationships that you have, the one with you. Whether you've just been too busy making everyone else's world go round, or maybe you're living according to what somebody else thought was best for you, or maybe life just happened and it's got you feeling like you don't even know who you are or what you want anymore. There are so many things that can distract or disconnect you from your inner knowing. Go from feeling lost or disconnected to reconnected with the Reignite Your Inner Knowing roadmap. Get you back in touch with yourself and feeling like a priority on your own list. Knowing your desires and what you want at this season in your life, you can live the life of your dreams. And it starts with the connection you have with you. Check the show notes to get the Reignite Your Inner Knowing roadmap. It's your time to get back in touch with you. Click the show notes and get started. Sometimes we focus so much on the blemishes that we lose sight of the blessings. Sometimes we focus so much on perfection that we forget it's our imprecision that builds wisdom and makes for the most stunning and colorfully lived life. Sometimes we don't realize the hardest things we've ever had to go through was just us living our comeback story in the making. So stop being so hard on yourself. Stop going crazy with the red pen all over your life. Stop downplaying God's masterpiece. If we never got it wrong, we would never see how God gets us right. Ooh, I feel like going to church up in here, up in here, up in here. Gotta give a shout out to DMX. Okay, I'm sorry. I get sidetracked sometimes. You know, my mind is like a jukebox. But grant yourself some grace, like as much as you need. Stop expecting to get everything just right. Stop expecting perfection when the only place that exists is in heaven. I mean, if that is where you believe that you go next. I hope so. You know, I am a woman of faith. So this is where my belief comes in to ground me. If you have a different faith, lean into that which grounds you. Get grounded in your own grace. And if you're struggling with yours, lean into the greatest grace that you believe in. Who else is going to do that? If you're waiting on someone else to open up a window and let in the light, you could very well be waiting a long time. Encourager, it all starts with you. You've got to be the one to let the light in. You've got to be the one to recognize your strengths, what you've done right and what you do right. You've got to stand powerfully in your own knowing. Your self-esteem, the way you see yourself depends on it. Your self-care and confidence depends on it. The quality of your life depends on it. You've got to be the first to give yourself more credit. Now, I know that the main question here is how, Sway? In just a few words, I will say 3 selves and a crew. I know you're wondering how, like I hear you, but how on earth do I do this? The answer really is 3 selves and a crew. It starts with my favorite, self-awareness. You just have to be aware of when you're being hard on yourself, not to beat yourself up, but to build yourself up. Just notice. When you are aware, you put yourself in a much better position to be able to decide from this place, is this working out for you? If so, keep doing it. If it's not, change it up. With awareness, you can see to gain perspective, and you give yourself the power to decide. Next, you've got to do self-reflection. You might already know what I'm going to say. Whip out your journal. This is also great for awareness. When you get a little space from your thoughts, you create great opportunities for yourself. Journal about the things you did right. What is your win of the day? Did you keep it cool and calm, collective when you could have popped off and went green eggs and ham on somebody? Did you not respond instead of being petty and stooping down to their level? Did you honor your word and do something you said you do? One of the greatest struggles I see my clients have is they think that just because they are doing what they're supposed to do, that somehow just doesn't even count as a win. Well, I'm a mom. I'm supposed to do that. Okay. And be that as it may, just because you're supposed to do it doesn't mean you have to do it. So shout out to stay-at-home moms or working moms and all moms that fall in between. It is not for the faint of heart, honey, I tell you. Whatever your main role is in your life currently, you don't have to do all that you're doing. Yes, you may be expected to, but the fact that you are doing it when some people just don't, or maybe they don't do it with the same level of excellence as you do. It's not about whether you're supposed to or not. People are supposed to do a lot of things they don't do, okay? We're supposed to eat right, exercise, and get proper rest. That don't mean we do it. Just saying, okay? Just saying. So that's really neither here nor there. The fact is, you do a lot of things that you are supposed to do. Now give yourself credit for it. You went to work today and maybe you didn't feel like it, but you did it anyway. You drove the kids to school. Maybe they could have been on the bus or walking. How many times have you gotten your kids to school safely and given yourself some credit for that? You cleaned the house or decluttered a space. You ate 3 meals today. Now, this may seem like no big deal, but when you have no energy or you're lucky enough to just get in a real meal while it's still hot, food is life. You did homework with your kids instead of turning them loose on Google or the latest AI technology. You showed growth and maturity in an interaction that was testing your gangster. I'm saying you might want to give yourself some extra kudos right there, okay? You were there to listen to a friend who just needed to be heard and have a soft place to land. This might only equate to a small portion of the things that you've done. So what else did you do? That is a win. There are so many things that you did today alone that are worthy of some praise because you were supposed to, but you actually did it. You are worthy of self-care every day, not just on a Sunday. As you do all the things and chase your dreams, self-care has to be a major part of your day-to-day life. Giving yourself what you need is the key to being able to give everybody else what they need. If you're having a hard time making sure your self-care is on your list, get all the deets in the Encourager's Insider Guide to Self-Care. These free, easy DIY tips for simple ways to make self-care a part of your daily routine, plus some bonus goodies. Get your free Encourager's Guide to Self-Care because you deserve to be a priority on your list. Grab it right on the blog or theshow.encourageovereverything.com/self-care freebie. No more being last on your list. Grab it today and give yourself the gift of self-care. So the next time you start downplaying yourself, I want you to ask, even though I'm supposed to, did I do it? The key here is not to fall back into old habits and beat yourself up. Remember, we build ourselves up now. So don't take your answer to the question as a reason to take yourself out the game. It's just information. Awareness and self-reflection gives us that information. Then you can decide what you want to do with it. So many times people take feedback as a personal attack when it's just information that can be used as a tool. These tools can be useful. You can use them to break things down or build them up. You always have a choice. You can use it as a tool to break you down or build you up. The choice is yours. The last self is self-care. And really, this should have been the first, because I can't stress enough to you about how taking care of yourself is so key. Who are you helping if you ain't helping yourself? Who is getting your best if you aren't giving your best to you? We will do so much more for others that we won't do for ourselves. And we've got to change that narrative. The first step to taking care of others is taking care of self. When you take care of you and you good, you have the energy and the capacity to pour into all those around you. You can't pour from an empty cup. Yet we try to do it all the time in the name of sacrificing self for the greater good, when that is just a lie. And that is what somebody said who was benefiting from you putting yourself last, okay? Don't believe the hype. The last piece is your crew. Surround yourself with people who see the best in you. Trust me, you'll need to see yourself through their eyes when you've forgotten. Your crew will help you stay focused when you find yourself off task or just feeling all over the place, honey. They'll also help you achieve greatness because they too are striving for greatness in their own lives. Surrounding yourself with positive people and influences can help you stay motivated and give you the support and encouragement you need along the way. When you are all those things and more for each other, you cultivate such beautiful relationships that fuel your growth and positively contribute to your well-being and happiness. Giving yourself credit is an essential aspect of self-awareness, self-reflection, and self-care. Add in a positive crew and see the elevation rising. Because you know I love me some elevation rising, honey. You deserve all the credit you give yourself. This life isn't always easy, but here you are, going at it, giving your best, not only doing what you're supposed to do, but doing so much of it with excellence. You've been through so much. No need to tear yourself down for what happened, any mistakes, or what you think of as a failure. Without it, you wouldn't be who you are or where you are today. Give yourself credit for making it this far. Yeah, maybe that's what you're supposed to do, but you did it. You didn't give up when you could have. You didn't quit when you wanted to. When the world seemed stacked against you, or when you felt like you were at your worst, honey, you kept going. That is worthy of some praise. Now that you stand in this place of power, what are you going to do with it? Will you use it as a tool to break you down or build you up? P.S. You better pick two, okay? After listening to this episode, you should for sure pick number 2. Okay, listen, I'm kind of kidding, but not kidding. I love you. Giving yourself credit is truly an ongoing process. Do your work daily because it adds up over time. That's how you build massive momentum and literally take off. By practicing these 4 ways of life, you can build confidence, stay motivated, and achieve your goals in a major amounts of ways. Declare from this day forward, you use feedback as information and a tool to help you improve. No judgment necessary. It's the set of tools you use to build you up. There is no other option. Give yourself credit because you are depending on you. Encourage over giving yourself credit because together we can. Encourage over everything. Encourager, thanks so much for tuning in. My wish for you is to have your encouragement cup filled up. If you enjoyed this episode, there's a few ways to say thank you. Share it with a few friends. You are a true encourager and spreading encouraging messages to lift others up because that's just what we do. Leave a review, light me up with some stars, and share your feedback so we can make encouragement a way of life. To keep the conversation going, connect with me on Instagram at Encourage Over Everything. And don't forget to check out the show notes for today's sponsors, along with how to apply to become an elite encourager for one-on-one coaching, along with all the other ways to stay connected. Thank you so much for being here with me. Until next time, I'm sending you love, light, and loads of positivity because together we can encourage over everything.